No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
So, don't do that. That's where it's at.
That's definitely where it's at.
That's not. Okay.
Hi, I'm Susie.
I'm Jermaine.
And this is Pillow Talk.
Pillow Talk with Susie and Jermaine.
Thank you. Sheesh. Oh my gosh. Just to get that intro out, it took a lot. You don't even understand.
This might be an intro. This might be a, what's the thing called? Practice run. We'll see how it goes.
No, it's the real thing. All right. And where are we located, Jermaine?
I mean, I guess we could say that, but I don't know. But Houston.
Houston,
Texas.
even though he doesn't rep
Houston,
Houston.
Albuquerque, or anything. It's Houston, Texas. So just make sure you know. You know, everybody goes, oh, I'm from Paris, Texas. I just make sure.
Right,
Houston,
right.
Texas.
All right. Most City. So I was born, raised here. Where were you born?
I don't feel like telling everybody my entire history.
All right. Okay. That's fine too. Oh my God. Lord, oh Lord. And this is just some laid back chat. The objective here is to be able to pronounce words correctly and practice speaking.
We're just talking.
Yeah, basically just talking.
If you want to talk about it, this is the first time around, but definitely put something in the comments and let us know what you want to talk about or what you want to hear about, and we'll talk about it. And then we'll listen to what you want to talk about, and we'll probably talk about that.
And don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Also the notifications, because we want you to be a part of our following. Even though his face doesn't say that right now.
I just feel like we're really new, so we'll see how this goes.
Okay. So, the first topic of the day is Spiderman. We saw that last night. What's the title of it again? Something No Way Home?
No Way Home.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty daunting and sad.
I found it sad. She did not find it sad. I found it really sad.
It was adventurous, but I saw a tear come out.
I was like a little let down. I was like, man, hurt. First, not sure we should talk about this because, what's that thing called?
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler!
Like, spoiler alert. We're going to talk about this movie, and if we talk about this movie, it's just a lot about it that's, we're going to tell everything about it. So it's like, oh man, I don't know. Hopefully you saw it, it broke some records. But yeah, the auntie gotta die. It's just like all the rest of the movies now. And then he just made a lot of mistakes. And
he's a child, so that's the whole point. There would be no movie if he wasn't a dumb child. Because
it became just like all the rest.
Like
that
Sabrina.
No. Like all the rest of
the
Spider-Man.
Teenage Witch. All the rest of the Spider-Man.
Yeah, Sabrina, whole different story. Like Sabrina Teenage Witch. It's like, all right, the first one was just like, I got aunties and It's a Fabulous Life. Next one, it was like, she didn't make a lot out of the parents dying, which is still a weird thing in the Adventures of Sabrina. But she...
Okay, tangent alert. Let's bring it back in.
Yeah, Spider-Man, it was just really sad because I was like, dang, man, the dude, to me, it was just like this. At the end, you broke. Like that.
Is that the biggest problem he has? He's broke?
Well, all right.
I don't think so.
It was so many problems. It was like, you no longer are, life was kind of blessed.
And dandy.
In the first two movies. It's like, it was a little rough. There were some hard parts, but you were an Avenger.
Yeah. He's like, I'm an Avenger.
You were a world hero, except in your own home city in New York, where this one cat for the Daily Bugle don't like you. But other than that, everybody likes you in the world.
And you gotta have like
the greatest hero that ever freaking lived, and Tony Stark's in this universe, freaking did everything to save you. And other people too, but in particular you. And I just was like, dang, you can't get any kind of better deal than that And then, this happens. This movie happens, and it's like all of that's taken away. All of that's taken away. And at the end, it's just like you lost everything. You ain't got no friends. You ain't got no girlfriend. You ain't got nothing.
It's sad.
And there's no way clear. You were kind of lucky to get him. The friend part, that was easy. He was going to be your friend. You were lame. But the girlfriend that's a nerd but super hot, you ain't got no angles towards that. She going to MIT. You studying for GED at the end. It's not. There's no.
She's gonna stay with him no matter what. It's fine.
There was no angle towards her again. Like there was no angle towards her. Like it was like she's going to MIT.
Maybe that's what the next.
She's going to Boston. She's going to be in a whole nother city. Like how are you getting an angle towards her? Like there's no angle.
Doctor Strange is gonna have to bring him back and fix things or something.
With even with the other Spider-Man, MJ stayed in New York. She didn't leave the whole city. She didn't go to The other MJs weren't that smart. That's another thing. The other MJs were dumb, and he was the smart one. His MJ was brilliant.
Yeah.
And
they
he
were
was
all
smart.
super smart.
Like, yeah, all of them were smart. It's totally different kind of chemistry going on here where I was like, oh, man, this ain't good. Like, there's not a lot of angles towards, like, the whole destiny game of, like, we're meant to be together and all that bullshit. Like, it's not a lot of angles.
Children. I mean, who's to say they're going to stay together their whole lives? Maybe it's someone else.
It's comic book.
They're really young.
It's a comic book. They would have ended up figuring it all out.
Yeah, that's true.
Hell, even the other Spider-Man that showed up in the movie was like, yo, we made it work. The other Spider-Man, of course, was like, I killed mine.
Yeah, and he seemed okay with it too.
No, he was not okay with it because when he saved the one, he was like all emotional. He was also the most sensitive one. He was he was like super sensitive.
That's the Garfield guy?
Yeah, he was like, I love you, man. And the other's just like,
no, scale it back a bit.
Scale it back a bit. We're not really ready for all of that.
Yeah.
We're like, thanks.
But seeing Tobey Maguire, it took me back to my middle school, maybe high school days, going to see Spider-Man. But I thought maybe they'd have that Spider-Man, that cartoon one.
What cartoon?
You know, the other.
Oh.
Yeah. What about him?
Okay, so they said it was a hint towards it. And I think it was the hint was when Jamie was talking to the one. And he was like, I thought you'd be black, man.
I know, because that's the cartoon, right?
Like, no, I mean, like he hit on a few things. He was like, it got me because he was just like, yo, man, like, Queens is poor.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, you grew up in Queens, right? He was like, yeah. He goes, thought you'd be black, man.
Oh, I know. He sounded crushed. Like,
he sounded really hurt that, like, damn. Yeah. You white, bro. He goes, I think that's wild. I think you cool. But you white, bro.
Yeah, this is a major downer for sure. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, Jamie Foxx was awesome in that. I wish he had more parts because he was funny. He just I loved his character.
I mean, he was what he was. It was
yeah, he was great.
He was rough. All the bad guys were a little rough. I mean, of course, obviously William Dafoe was like, whoa.
Which one is that? Who plays that?
The one that killed people.
Oh, Goblin. Yeah. The jolly Goblin, they called him.
Yeah, that one was the one that looked like a big green elf.
Yeah, but he's got an natural evil grin. Man, he was scary.
He was the absolute worst one. I was like, dang. It reminded me of, watching Loki. It reminded me of watching Loki when I saw was it Jonathan Masters, I think?
Oh yeah, I liked him.
When he played
the main guy, whatever he is, the wizard. I don't know, the orchestrator, the oracle.
I can't think of what his name is. Oh my god, the villain's name is like crazy because he has a lot of villain names. But yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to look that up. But shifting gears, in the movie theater, I was wearing my mask the whole time. Not that it was required, but that I heard this cough next to me, and it was not a normal cough, and it was reoccurring, and it was like
He Who Remains.
And oh yeah.
But go ahead.
And that cough is just kind of alarming, and then down below you hear another cough. Like is it really safe to be going to the movie theaters right now? I don't know. I'm vaccinated, I'm boosted, but it felt a little uncomfortable at times. I was pulled out of the Spider World universes, multiverses, and back into my body and realizing, ew, you are coughing and you are right there, and that's scary. I don't know if you heard that or were focused on that during the movie, but I was.
I was not focused on that.
It was right next to me.
I was just like, whatever. She let me know that there were some kids next to us who were like coughing.
Yeah.
I didn't notice. I was locked into the movie. The kids could have infected me if it was like, if we switched places, they could have infected me totally. I was not totally locked into the kids. I was totally into the movie, watching it, locked in.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel a certain way about anyone coughing. It wouldn't matter if it was COVID or not. I'm like, I fly a lot and I do a lot of like traveling. So for me, I think I mentioned it earlier. I was like, hey, whether I'm just not big on like you coughing and just sickly situations. Yeah. I was like, look, whether it's I'm at the airport, or I'm at a school, or I'm at a freaking like hospital or whatever. People coughing, I'm just like, yo, look, get away from me. Hospital, you can't help it. You in a hospital for a reason. But I'm at an airport. I'm like, get the fuck away from me.
Hey, this is a kid friendly.
Excuse my language. Yeah, but I'm like, no, get away from me. I'm not really crazy about this. I'm like, I'm trying to stay away from you. I'm trying to separate. Like, dang, I'm gonna take a step back if I think you're like, you know what, you're gonna give me something. Like, this is before all of this junk went down. Even before that, I was like, look, if you hacking up a lung, I'm like, look, I don't want to catch that junk. I'm gonna step away from you. And we didn't have all the sanitation stuff, but I was just like, I'm gonna step back. Like, hold up, I'm not trying to catch what you got.
Right.
I don't know what you got. I don't know where you've been.
Okay.
Like,
So let's shift to a lighter note, a happier note. We just watched on the Hallmark Channel The 9 Kittens of Christmas. I'm not exactly sure the real title, but man, that was a holiday charmer. And the cat's name was Ambrose. That is the name of Jermaine's cat. So, we kind of bonded there. And we've got Granty right here next to us, but Ambrose, that was a really cute cat. He was like this little orange one in there.
Yeah, pick him up. He'd bite me if I pick him up.
So, Jermaine, what were your thoughts on that Hallmark movie?
It was a Hallmark movie.
That my parents made you watch. No, he wanted to.
I would say, I'd say it's a Hallmark movie. It's
It turns out happy.
Have you seen a rom-com movie?
Yeah.
Romantic comedy movie. This is the breakdown of a romantic comedy movie. There's like, at the beginning, let's go with a complex one. I have a love interest or someone I'm having sex with. Then I leave that situation. I go back home or to some other place. And then I meet a person who's a past love or a brand new love. I found out, you know what? Man, we have so many more interests in this person or whatever. Or we have something genuine here. Fall in love with that person. Eventually break it off with the sex person. Or break it off with the ex. Get with that person. And then dramatic, will we, won't we, gut scene. And eventually I actually decide we will. And bam, that's how it ends. Every rom-com is a happy ending. There's no really romantic comedy that has a bad ending. So at the end, it's like, well,
it's gonna turn out the way you want.
It usually comes out pretty good. I was sitting there thinking about it, like, Love Actually is weird because it has like 9 different endings for different love patterns, and so there's like 1 or 2 that don't go quite the way you would think. But that's a movie that has it's like Traffic. It has 20 different endings. So it's like, it's going to be a little tricky. It's telling 8 stories at once. But other than that, Hallmark is Hallmark. They're all going to be happy endings. So in the end, it was like we magically appear 5 years ahead of whatever the special for 9 Kittens was last year. Did you see that one? Everyone was like, what happened to the fireman?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know who exists in this movie. And then we found out. Oh, she
Yeah.
broke it off with the fireman because he was
He wouldn't commit, or he
Yeah,
didn't want to move to the next step.
he was
Afraid of-
stagnant. He was
afraid of
afraid of
change.
change. So he was like, oh,
Aw.
I'm good. He's slow to move.
Yeah.
She leaves him. He's like, oh my goodness, I made a mistake. She leaves her 3 to 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Comes back, has a new boyfriend and everything that she opened a whole new practice with. Comes back to town. Immediately, chemistry starts flying around. She really likes the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, bam.
What's it?
She starts finding just odd reasons to break up with the dude who's away.
Right, it's
Like,
not good.
It wasn't even good like
Well,
reasons.
It didn't make
like,
sense.
I was like, let the dude who's away at least cheat on you. And then you can just be like, oh, he
you
cheated on me. And I already found a new guy anyway. Bye. But instead
she
it was
should
like...
have just was like honest and
It's
communicate
like-
and be like, I break up with you, okay?
She was like, oh, you didn't want to go to my like high school reunion. And I was
Like,
like,
who
wants
to
to go to
go
a high
to
school
that?
reunion? Exactly. I was like, what the
Fudge.
fudge? I said fudge.
Fudge.
All right,
Fudge.
what the fudge? Who wants to go to a high school reunion? I was like,
Yeah.
come on now.
That's
Who
not
cares?
a reason you break up
It's
with
like,
someone.
I don't know about you because you don't want to go to a high school reunion.
You're not
with
the
me.
one. That's my
It's
deal
like,
breaker.
you don't know how much I care about Christmas. I'm like, are you like Noelle? Are you Santa's freaking daughter? Or like, are you one of the children of Santa? Are you Miss Santa and you
Yes.
divorced him and you're like,
Yes.
I promise that I will always cherish Christmas. No, you're not. Like, who cares? Like, Christmas is good and everything. It's a family holiday, but no, come on now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you couldn't make it because you were handling business and making us money. And guess what? No.
Right. Yes,
No. I'd rather you screw that business. Throw
Right.
a middle finger up to it. I was about
Right.
to throw one of the screen, but
Right, right.
I ain't trying to do that. But I was like, throw a middle finger up to it. Screw the business. I'm out on this.
Yes.
What I want to do is just, you know what? I'm all about Christmas. I'm all about Santa time. Screw
kittens.
that bull. Yeah, screw that bull. I'm about these freaking kittens. It's 9 cats. That's what I'm about. Santa, yeah.
Yeah, and 9's like clever, like 9
Making
lives.
No.
Yeah.
Like-
Helping my practice, doing things that matter.
Yeah.
No.
No. Dude, you about that practice? You about that money? No.
It was a vet practice.
And then, of course, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
the best part of the movie, he comes back. He's like, oh, man, I love this girl. I'm going to leave the practice.
It go for her.
And I ain't going to leave the practice like they leave the practice. But I'm going to come from Miami.
And surprise
And
her.
surprise her
at
for
the
Christmas.
holiday party.
He
And
surprises her, and she just happens to be dancing with the brand new dude she like.
the fireman.
Who was the old dude she liked.
The ex from 5
Yes.
years ago. And she didn't even break up with the man handling her business.
And I was like, you could have just broke up with the cat. You knew you wanted to break up with him from get-go.
Yeah.
But there was all these steps to where break up with him, break up with him,
But
break
yet,
up with him.
she did a Christmas card because she wanted that Christmas
Yeah.
spirit.
Oh, yeah,
she
that's why
sent
I'm
it
not
out
big on
to
stuff like
all
that.
her family.
And I dig on
and-
stuff like that. Like,
I
like the
see.
photos with the like, oh yeah, it's me, you, and the whole like
Christmas, yes.
It's like, Christmas, let's do a photo together. Yeah. And then you break up. It's like, it's like, no. And yeah, they did all of that. And they got this on the fridge in front of everybody, and it just went all wrong. I was like, but obviously, happy ending. So breaks up with that dude. So not happy ending for him. Guess what? The guy who she was with in the first movie, bam, ta-da. He, big old, like, even though this is rekindling and I haven't seen you for 2 or 3 years, let me drop down to the knee. Here's the ring.
Yeah, of course.
And then because it's called 9 Kittens, also, let me give a little bit of, what's that thing called?
Adopt a kitten or a mistletoe
Mistletoe ring.
collar.
For the cat. So
Yeah.
it's like, here's a collar for the cat. And then
Christmas.
a ring for you. I don't know. So, it came out wrong, but yeah.
Yeah. So awesome. Check it out. It was entertaining.